Hey everyone, welcome back to Life on the Wrist. Hope you're doing well. We're going to be discussing the Phillips auction that is taking place in December. Going to discuss some of the watches that are being sold. There are some incredible pieces that I want to make sure that everyone knows about. These are basically the top of any watch line that you can think of. This is the cream of the crop when it comes to watch collecting and being interested in watches. So I thought I would discuss the watches with you. But before we get into that, if you are new to Life on the Wrist, be sure to hit that subscribe button. We create videos about watches, just about any topic that you can think of. That's what we create videos about. So if you like them, be sure to check out our channel where we have all of the other videos that we've created. Be sure to hit the subscribe button and give us a thumbs up. It really does help us out with the YouTube algorithm. So the Phillips auction that we will be discussing is called the Game Changer auction. This auction is taking place in New York on December 10th of the year 2019. Perhaps you're watching this in the future, so hello future me and hello future you. But anyway, it's taking place in December 10th, and the whole idea is that the watches that are going to be sold at this auction are considered game changers. And if you aren't really familiar with that colloquialism, big word, game changer is basically a watch that really stands above everything. It stands above every other watch. A game changer is something that really is in a league of its own. It kind of changes the way in which you think about watches or that specific topic. So in this instance, these watches change the way that you can kind of perceive what a watch is, or perhaps what a specific reference of a watch is. So that's the type of watch that are going to be sold at this auction. These are really, the best finds that you can possibly find. Basically take the best that you can find within the watch community. That's what is going to be sold right here. So, and I think the watches, they all have different, kind of different reasons why they are game changer watches and kind of at the top of the watch collecting universe. So we're going to discuss those when we go into each of the watches. So the first one, and this is obviously this is the first watch I'm discussing, and I already think, we might as well stop after this one. But the first watch is the Marlon Brando Rolex GMT-Master reference 1675. This is from Apocalypse Now. Do I really need to say any more? Marlon Brando is obviously an actor, and this is his Rolex GMT-Master that he wore in Apocalypse Now. This, as I said, it's reference 1675. It's a stainless steel GMT-Master, and it dates to 1972. This watch is, it's like I said, it's the best of the best. It's in absolutely amazing condition. Obviously, because it was owned by Marlon Brando, it's historically important. The life that it lived, being that we're at Life on the Wrist, I'll talk about that a little bit more. Being that it lived on Marlon Brando's wrists kind of brings in a little bit more significance into the sale of this. The dial is absolutely beautiful. It's patinaed absolutely amazingly. It has beautiful light chocolate brown hour markers. It's just in absolutely phenomenal condition. The case looks like it's unpolished. It just is. It's basically everything that you want in a vintage GMT. That's exactly what you're getting with this watch. So that's the first one, and I don't even know if I want to continue because that one just knocks everything out of the park. But there are some other very, very significant watches. So like I said, the first one is Marlon Brando's Rolex GMT-Master. The second is again, just insane watch. This is the Patek Philippe reference 1518. It's called Pink on Pink, and it is a perpetual calendar chronograph from Patek Philippe dating to 1947. It's called Pink on Pink because it is actually a pink gold case with a pink dial. Previously, people didn't think that this watch actually existed, but now it obviously has come to light that it does exist. It's extremely rare and it's absolutely beautiful. Patek Philippe makes some of the most beautiful perpetual calendar chronographs. The 1518 is no exception. You probably know or perhaps have heard about the 1518 in steel that sold for record prices. This is the same watch, but different case metal and different dial. I think this is, again, one of the most beautiful watches that you can possibly find within the watch market. Extremely rare, which obviously adds to the whole game changer theme to this watch auction. And Patek Philippe just makes beautiful watches. Just look, I'm going to be putting up pictures, so just look at the sub dial with the absolutely beautiful moon phase. The balance of this dial, the balance of the way the case is laid out, and the size of the case. It's just absolutely beautiful and makes it extremely significant, and is obviously going to fetch a huge amount of money. So that's the second watch. The third is another watch from Patek Philippe. It's another perpetual calendar chronograph. This is the reference 2499. This watch dates to 1951. The case is in yellow gold. It's extremely rare, and obviously the condition of this watch is also extremely high. Basically every single watch, it's going to be of extremely high quality. So the reference 2499 is oftentimes considered one of the best watches created, period, and I think this is no exception to it. The 2499 watch collectors kind of dream about it. It's very hard to find them. Obviously, like I said, it's extremely rare. This is an absolutely beautiful example of it. Again, perpetual calendar, so you got a beautiful moon phase function. The chronograph of this is absolutely stunning. It runs these two Patek Philippe's, the 1518 and the 2499, are arguably the best watches ever released from Patek Philippe. Obviously, that's just my taste. You probably have a different opinion. Let me know if you do have a differing opinion in the comment section. But again, absolutely phenomenal watch. And I've only mentioned three. I've got Marlon Brando's Rolex GMT-Master. I've got a Patek Philippe 1518, and I've got a Patek Philippe 2499. Just those three watches, that's just insane, and to have all three of those watches in this auction. So again, we're only on number 3. The fourth, and I've actually made videos about this in the past, and you probably have seen this gentleman's talking watches on Hodinkee. The next watch is Jack Nicklaus's Rolex Daytona, reference 1803, which dates to 1967. If you haven't seen, or you're not really familiar with who Jack Nicklaus is, he's a golfer, one of the best to ever live, and he's done a talking watch where he discusses the only watch that he actually owns, and that is a date. Obviously, this watch is in yellow gold. It's absolutely beautiful. The story behind it, the fact that he has worn it kind of throughout all of the adventures that he's been on. If you haven't seen his talking watches, please go ahead and watch it, because he talks about, you know, all the adventures that he's been on with that watch, how he kind of came about it, those types of things. He really does do, he's a real outdoorsman, you know, he fishes, he golfs, he does a lot of other things, and he was wearing that watch the entire time, which really adds to the life that the watch has lived on his wrist. Another beautiful thing about this lot is that it's being sold to benefit the Nicklaus Children's Healthcare Foundation, which whatever money it ends up fetching, it's going to benefit a healthcare foundation, which is going to end up helping people. And I think that's another beautiful part about this lot. So again, this is only number 4. Anyway, so that was number 4. Number 5, this actually is a modern watch. This is the Heuer AMC. This is a very interesting watch, or watch clock pairing. It's actually a very rare and I think unique, I don't think there's more than one created, atomic master clock that comes with a titanium Heuer watch, which was manufactured in 2018. It's in titanium, so you're getting a very light metal, but I think the whole concept behind having an atomic master clock as well as an Heuer is very unique. Probably not going to be repeated anytime soon, so a really cool kind of addition that adds a little bit of a modern flair to it. So that's another watch that, again, will be very, very interesting. It's probably my, I don't want to say least favorite, because all of these are absolutely amazing, but perhaps the one that I wouldn't end up bidding on. So that's number 5. The 6th watch, and we kind of get into the territory of Rolex here, is a Rolex Paul Newman Lemon, reference 6264. This is a Rolex Daytona. This watch is it's a yellow gold chronograph, and it has a lemon dial, which refers to the fact that the color of the dial is actually kind of like a yellow lemon, has a yellow lemon hue to it, which this watch dates to 1969, which, I mean, Rolex, Paul Newman's reference 6264s from Rolex are just desired in general, but the fact that this is a yellow gold chronograph with a lemon dial, that just, it's hugely desirable within the vintage watch collecting market, but also within the Rolex Daytona collecting market. So a very, very desired, very, very rare to come by. This watch is also, again, like every other watch that comes, is part of this auction, is in insane condition, and is a beautiful piece. So that's one of the 6264s, or one of the Daytonas is the 6264. The next lot is another Rolex Daytona. This is the Rolex Daytona Paul Newman John Player Special. This is the reference 6241. Previously, this watch was actually unknown. It's a yellow gold chronograph, dates to 1968, and the John Player Special nickname that has been given to this watch is the fact that it has a black and gold dial. That's what it refers to. So I'm educating you guys a little bit here. But again, again, previously unknown, came about, extremely rare, extremely desired within the Rolex Daytona collecting sphere, watch collecting sphere. So obviously it's going to fetch a huge amount within this auction. Again, amazing quality. I think the watches that have been sourced are just phenomenal. There really is no other word for it. They are simply game changers. So those were two Rolexes that are going to be auctioned. The next watch is a Tag Heuer Monaco Pista. This was actually created for the 50th anniversary of the chronograph in 1969. The Tag Heuer Monaco is obviously a very different style of watch that was created by Tag Heuer. This piece is obviously in fairly good condition. It's very, very rare, being that it's kind of celebrating the anniversary. And like I said, it's the Pista Art, so has some significance there. Again, similar to the Jack Nicklaus watch, this watch is being sold to benefit the United Way's New York City Foundation. So again, the benefit, the whatever it fetches is going to end up helping people, which I think makes the watch even more special, especially within the watch collecting universe. So I'm glad that, you know, our hobby can kind of be used to help people who are in need, or perhaps you know, just not be used for just, you know, personal gain. So it's going to end up benefiting more than one person. Obviously the person who ends up winning is going to enjoy that watch, but there are people who are going to be affected by the money that it ends up fetching. So again, a beautiful sentiment to it. The next watch is from a company that I absolutely love, and that is the Vacheron Constantin Overseas Dual Time Prototype, reference 7910V. Like I said, this is a prototype watch from Vacheron Constantin. It is in titanium and tantalum, and it is a dual time day, night, center, second, and date function watch. This is obviously just the fact that it is a prototype being sold by Vacheron Constantin is phenomenal. It dates to 2018, and this was worn by Corey Richards on Mount Everest during his expedition of Mount Everest. So again, this watch has been places where you probably have never been in your lifetime. Perhaps you are an avid hiker, perhaps you have been on Mount Everest, but again, the life that this watch has lived far exceeds that in which the watch was created. So that story is going to be with that watch for the rest of its life. So whoever ends up wearing it can know that it actually went to Mount Everest. What is amazing about this watch is being that it has that you know, natural kind of a connection to nature with being on the wrist of Corey Richards when he hiked Mount Everest. The proceeds from the sale of this watch is going to benefit the National Geographic Society, again affecting more than one person. The person who ends up buying it is obviously going to enjoy this watch and really be extremely happy with their purchase. But again, it's going to end up affecting more than just himself. The National Geographic Society is going to hopefully help us to preserve the nature around us, and you know, it is changing. I think that's an inevitable concept that you kind of just have to accept, but let's see if we can try and change it for the better. So it's nice that Vacheron Constantin is being attached to that kind of benefit. So the last lot is the Uhrwerk UR105 CT Iron Avengers Endgame watch. This watch was worn by Robert Downey Jr. in Endgame. It is the classic Uhrwerk style. It's a titanium satellite time display watch. Dates to 2019, obviously, because Avengers came out recently. What can I say? This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to get a watch. Just like any of the other lots that we've discussed today. What's cool about this, again, is that the proceeds of this watch are going to benefit the Random Act Funding charity. So there are some very significant watches that are being sold at this auction that are going to end up affecting more people than just the owners who end up purchasing them and having the highest bid on them. So it's a very exciting thing to see. I'm glad that this auction is coming about. These are the top of the top, absolutely phenomenal watches that are being sold. There's a mix of vintage and modern. I'm excited to see the extent to which these, you know, the prices these end up fetching. But it's also exciting to just think about the fact that these watches are going to end up benefiting more people than just the person who's purchasing the watch. So those are the watches that are being sold at the Game Change auction. Again, it's taking place on December 10th in 2019. So Phillips, I will be watching for sure if I don't end up getting up there for the auction. I look forward to being able to see these watches. I think they're going on the road, being shown to some other into some other cities. So if you are in those cities, I'll put a link in the description to the auction so you can see it. And if you've made it this far, guys, and you haven't already, be sure to give us a thumbs up. It really does help us out. Let me know in the comment section below what your favorite lot is that we've discussed today. And with that said, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video, and until next time.